Hi friends, it's Rachel with Wylder Way Farms, and it's the weekend. It's Saturday, and during the weekends here we usually work. That's what we do. We have so many projects going on outside and inside that we spend our weekends doing projects. So this morning we are starting with laundry. Not all that glamorous, but it will get more interesting as the day goes on. Hey, what are you guys making in here?
Well, I'm making this. I'm trying to make. I want to make that.
You get on number 3.
Wow.
You can go to number 4.
Very impressive marble runs.
Yeah, but here's on number 2.
Can you show me how it works? You put the marble in there? Show me what you have so far. Wow.
I said not yet.
That was awesome. Alright, so I just stuck my jacket on. I'm gonna go outside and start some weekend projects outside, and I realized I forgot to pour the milk this morning. I left it on the counter and completely forgot to pour it. So, raw milk from our cow, it can go bad technically. Like raw milk can curdle, it can sit on the counter. Gavin, my husband, his grandpa, left his milk on the counter for several days before drinking it on purpose. You know, it just cultures, and all good bacteria in raw milk just becomes more when it cultures. But that's gross. I don't want to do that. So if I accidentally leave it on the counter and don't filter and pour right away, I just give a little extra to our calf. This is Blue. We bought him as an orphan calf a few months ago, and we tried to graft him onto our Jersey cow Autumn, but they just were not taking to each other, and he was not nursing, and so we've ended up feeding him about a gallon from the bottle every day. The sun is warm here in Arizona today, and look at how cute she is. Little butterfly. The goats are just soaking it up. Look at this three. That's Rain and Suyin, mother-daughter. And Queen Bee, Suyin and Katara are best friends. They like to snuggle. Everybody's enjoying the weather. Here we go, over to the hay barn. Ruin, is it so fun? Is it so fun? Hey buddy! And here we are. Where is our hay barn? We would love, well, and in the stalls there. We would love to someday have a big ol' fancy 4,000, 5,000 square foot shop barn. But for now, we have this Connex box my husband built stalls onto. And he cut a door into it. So when you walk in, as you can see, we are running rather low. That's the hay barn. So it is watertight, which is nice. And my job today, one of my jobs, is to get up all this hay that falls when we feed, so we can give it to the animals, because we have a new load of hay to put in here. come on. Get her in a minute.
What's
gonna happen? Ruin? What are they doing?
I know.
They're moving it.
What?
Go, Dusty. Need to make you grow the bigger feeder.
A bigger feeder? Seriously?
There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of feeders.
Why is the special goodie is out?
I know. You want to get her and bring her back in? Where'd she go?
I want to know where. Rowan, be careful! Happy Rowan! Uh-oh. Did they knock you over? Am I supposed to video now?
No, you can turn it off.
I just like the video. I'm having fun, Mom. Do 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 da dun do dun do da.
It's okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna go get my
Go. All right. Go back and get her the load.
Ruin, are you getting a ride?
You saw me putting in the barrels is straw. We had straw down here that just kind of got mixed with everything else. There's still some straw mixed in with the hay. And the straw is for bedding, for really cold, like when it's snowing. I put this in the stalls and the shelters for the goats and the pigs, or when they're kidding. I put it down in the kidding stalls for them. So we're going to be getting the kidding stalls ready pretty soon. And so these barrels we used in the past for feed and grain, but we've just been keeping the feed and grain right in the bags and using them straight from the bags lately. So I just stuck the straw in here so I could finish cleaning out this whole mess. They go out to what we call the boneyard. Way out in the back pasture, we keep a pile of lumber, basically building materials, everything the hubby brings home that I don't want sitting right in the yard. So right up there you can see the boneyard. Hey Dahlia. Dahlia and Blue out here. Hey, that couldn't fit on the trailer?
What?
That couldn't fit on the trailer? Okay. Good thing you're strong. They've collected their building materials that I guess Boaz had to carry back. That's what happens when you're the oldest boy. And everyone else gets a ride.
You're not ready, Simeon. Sit down. Right.
So here's a little bit of a different view of the property. This is the back 3 acres. We call it the pasture. This is where the cows live full time. You know, you can see our house and our barn and all of our stuff up there. Well, amongst all the trees. This is where the cows live full time. In the spring and the summer it gets real gorgeous and green out here. Lots of grass and weeds for the goats and the cows to eat. This is Venture. She's our rough collie. Hi baby. Hi, she's a good girl. So having goats and cows out here is kind of perfect because cows eat the grass and they'll eat some weeds, but at least our cows are not crazy about most of the weeds. And then the goats will actually not even eat the grass. Like, grass will grow in their little area, their little paddock over here, and they won't eat it. They prefer the weeds. Goats are browsers, so they prefer weeds, brush, bushes, trees, things like that. So it helps pretty much eat down our whole pasture in, you know, the spring and summertime, because the 2 different kinds of animals work really well together. Eventually we would like to cross fence in here so that we could rotate the animals, which just helps our pastures to be healthier and more efficient, but not yet. Too many other things that we have planned. So over here, here's our doe's little paddock here. I just wanted to show you guys because this was kind of my little invention that my husband made. But when we made the doe's enclosure, I wanted them to be able to come out into the pasture and graze. But I didn't want to cut this fence, because when you cut a fence to put in a gate, you got to put new posts in and braces, and like we have right here, a big post and a brace. And then you got to do that on each side of the gate, and it's just such a pain. So we cut out a little piece of the fence, and then we put a little latch, and then you can just open it just like that. We have to prop it open, but that way the goats can get out to graze, but the cows cannot get in to the goat's pen and eat all their food, or, you know, mess with the stalls. So it works kind of perfect. Right, so here's another project that we're working on this weekend. We have this shed here. It's a pretty rough shed, but there it is. It needs a paint job. And we have all of this, what I call junk. It's not technically junk, but it looks like it. And it used to just sit here next to the shed, and I hated how it looked. And when people, the goats are right over here. So when people come to buy goats or visit or whatever, there's all this junk there. So my sweet husband has taken some privacy fence and built me what I think I'm just going to call the junk yard. Maybe the shed yard might be nicer. We'll see if you have any ideas. Put them in the comments for a cute idea to call this. So eventually I'll paint it white to match the house and
Paint that white.
the milking barn.
I can watch it.
But for now, it already looks better. So he's working on finishing it. The girls are helping. Hi, girls!
Hi.
Takoa's climbing stumps. Like Boaz pulling out nails. Bruin's about ready for a nap.
You want to be how high I am? Get this. Until I put this under. Dad, can you help me put this under? Lift it up.
Think we should go up a little more? Okay, ready? Put that under there. No, put it on top of the other board.
That's a big gate.
Yeah. What I was saying before, it's
Because I
quite
want
large.
to. Because my son.
Are you gonna put a wheel on it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what are you welding?
I'm going to weld this bracket onto this wheel to support the big oversized gate to our...
I think we're gonna call it a junkyard. Or you could call it a shed yard.
Yeah, I don't like junkyard.
Okay, that's how I figured you wouldn't. So shed yard. That's what we can call it.
Or, yeah.
Do
So
a
that's
shed
what I'm
yard.
doing, and I can screw this to the gate so that it hopefully will last a couple weeks before it breaks. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's just gonna get me. Nice. Here, let me see it outside of here. No, let me see the wheel.
Like the kids. I'm not done. Let me clean that up.
Alright.
I might have to get a better weld for your video. We might have to edit which ones I let you show people.
Is that good?
Yeah,
It's
it's alright.
Alright. It'll
I'm
hold.
gonna weld. Yeah, it'll hold. I'm gonna weld this side so it's better.
What does it look like, Ireland? It's green. Wow. Hi, sweet girl. This is Ivy, and she hasn't let me pet her much since she came here a week ago, so this is special. We're becoming friends. She is so soft. The Pygoras are like petting bunny rabbits. They are just so soft. Look at that. Look at that beautiful fiber. Oh man. Sweet girl. part that's starting to get really fun. It's getting cleaned up. So as you can see, I've been working on all the paint. I still have quite a bit to go, but I'll match everything else around here. So this part of the yard y'all haven't been able to see yet, but I mean, you can just see all the stuff that sure could be useful at some point. But right now it just sits over here and it just looks awful. And see, there's our house. So I look out my kitchen window and it's not my favorite. So this is very exciting for me. Now I know that this is not necessarily farming, but it's part of our lives. And as I've been videoing and just, you know, just taking videos of our lives and seeing what content I want to end up putting on these videos, people are just interested in what we're doing. So I thought, you know, our weekend work videos will just be videos of what we're doing. And something that I have noticed about homesteading and small farming is that it takes so much of your time in a good way. You know, everybody loves, well, not everybody, but I love the farming aspect. I love working with the goats and the cows and the pigs and all the animals, and I mean, even cleaning out stalls is pretty enjoyable. So all of those kinds of things I really enjoy. But because we spend so much time doing those sorts of things, the rest of the yard can get a little bit unkept. And when you go to a lot of farms and homesteads, you start to notice that they just, you know, things just get let go of and things get away from you. And I don't like, I mean, I live in a certain amount of chaos because I have 8 going on 9 kids. And there's always messes everywhere, but I like to try to stay on top of it. So really building things like this and, you know, having weekends where it's just kind of like farm cleanup, that's important. Or your farm just becomes littered with building materials and, you know, this and that and all the things you end up collecting because you have a homestead. So these weekends are important and they feel good. And as you can see, we have plenty of fun with all the kids doing this. So it's about 3:30 in the afternoon and we're gonna start wrapping up. We have to start making dinner, pay a little more attention to our kids because they've just been running wild all day, and kind of wind down so that we can start Monday off right. So it's kind of how it goes with weekend projects. We get what we can done. I got the hay barn pretty close to being emptied out, and we'll have to just load the hay next week. It's not supposed to rain or snow or anything, so that should not be a problem. And I got the first coat of paint done. As you can see here, first coat of paint, except for taking a brush to the bottom edges, everyone's favorite thing to do. That's done. The building part of it's done, and so you know, next weekend all we'll have to do is load it with stuff, haul some stuff off to the boneyard, do a second coat of paint, and then we'll move on to our next project. The girls over here, they have been watching us with curiosity all day. Oh, sweet girl. Yeah. So that's a weekend here on Wylder Way Farm.